have the LCD screen and 16 multicolored buttons that have two functions. They handle the loop and mixing menu functions, and then special commands when you hold two buttons down, such as like 1 and 2 will turn the menu system on, and so forth. The buttons are all color coded to make data entry easy, and it's all contextually based, so in the menu systems it tells you what buttons are active and do things. So basically there are two modes to the liquid router, and it defaults to loop mode. So basically you define loops and you turn loops on and off. And then there's mix mode, which allows you to define channels and determine which inputs or returns go to what sends and so forth. And we'll talk about that in a later video. So this is the front of the unit. And the back of the unit, we have inputs 1 through 16, and those are the top row are the returns or the inputs, and the bottom row are the sends or the outputs. There are a couple of special inputs and outputs. If it has a letter H next to it, like channel 1, 2, and 7, that input can be either high Z or low Z, so you can plug in guitar directly as an example. If there are dashed lines, like 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, and then 1 to 2, that means there's a switch that'll allow you to connect those hardwired unbuffered, so that you can send outputs in an unbuffered form. Channels number 3 through 16, you'll see, have trim capabilities on the inputs or the returns. And channels 7 through 14 have gain capability on the outputs, from near mute all the way to 2 times the input level coming into from its mixing capabilities. If there's a letter B next to the output channel, that means it's balanced or unbalanced. So if you put a TRS jack in there, it's balanced. Put a mono jack in there and it's unbalanced. And all of the inputs will accept a balanced. Actually, I'll just look at half of it, so it'll convert it. And then channel 15 and 16 are both on one jack, so it's a stereo jack. Two purposes for that. One being, if you're going to connect multiple units, it's a good idea to just take a stereo cable on the top, stereo cable on the bottom, and connect it to the other stereo pair for an additional 15 loops, if you will. The liquid router has 4 amp channels, 100% independent, all 4 of them. So you can run 4 independent amp channels. You can run audio through it, video through it, any signal basically. And there are two modes. There's toggle mode, basically on and off. There's momentary, where the system will momentarily trigger the channels. So if you want to control things like an SDD 3000, where you're clicking momentarily on pedals to go up and down, you could use this amp channel capability to control devices like that. We then have 2 expansion ports. These are Liquid Foot Plus controller compatible, so this can drive the phantom power to a Liquid Foot and handle the MIDI in and out. We have USB for the Liquid Router editor for PC and Mac. We then have a MIDI out or through. You can program it to be a through as well. And then we have phantom power to drive controllers from here. Then we have a 7-pin MIDI cable, which will handle MIDI in, MIDI out, and phantom power it'll send 12 volts at 1 amp through this phantom power. And then we have an international plug. So that's the back of the unit.